Plenty time when Hana the kind ya, Hana get for see just how these your thing come to life. And to make sure we had thing for make we Gullah Geechee. These are the thing we ancestor them to do. Nampon and all that thing. And learn we for true. This year the lamb with blood, sweat, and tears still a day. And Hana chiller, go and get you a little bit about them since you coming this your way. This year the time when we to get together for this year new birth and thing every year. And all Hana chiller, this year time for plant Hana seed and make sure Hana mind clear. So this year episode, Hana chiller, go and learn just what is going on for true. Because down here in the Gullah Geechee Nation, this year, the how we do what we do.
Well, how on the children to do? This year the Queen Quet one more again from this year Gullah Geechee TV Nation News. Now, how the children know, this year the time of year when we just said this year the planting season. Other rest of children might talk about the equinox and things like that, and the March equinox where the next spring for coming and things like that. Well, this year episode, we going to talk about the earth. Plenty of time when people come down here to the Gullah Geechee Nation, and I see we when we the day out here in this here type of atmosphere, yo, when things just are getting ready for plant. The children want to get you when things ready for come up and things like that, where you can go on and have for damn pun. Me understand? The belly want to be full of things like that. Okay then. Well, look at children, but this year time we going to crack we teeth just a little bit. But what all of this year mean to we children what down here? And Hunter know this year the Queen Quet head on the body of this year Gullah Geechee Nation, and you know if you deal with me, this year the what going on.
Stay in the field, oh, stay in the field, stay in the field. Until the boys and
well, how want the children to do? This year the Queen Quet head on the body of this year Gullah Geechee Nation. One more again for Gullah Geechee Nation News. Now, plenty of time when the children are tuning in to things like that, you see me to go and all these other rest of different places. One thing we're glad about is this your time of year. What some that celebrate called equinox. Other rest of children, spring and things like that. But one thing about that, plenty of time we the Yeti or what? But we just talk them again like that, crack we teeth with them. But we don't know where they come from. But the word equinox means equal night in Latin. And that is because at a certain time every year, day almost equals night in various parts of the world simultaneously. So most of us aren't even that concerned about that, except that it is that time where we see the coming of the light again, where we find it as a time that many cultures get together and celebrate because of that fact, whether it is spiritual celebrations or it's just cultural dynamics. We have a lot of different things, especially within the African diaspora, that are celebrated at this time of the year. And so we definitely want to celebrate the blessings of harvest, because as Gullah Geechee people, we do a lot of work that is still agricultural. And that is one of the things that our ancestors were kidnapped and brought to North America for, was agricultural work. So when you talk about land, there's blood, sweat, and tears in this land that reconnects us. So even as you plant your seeds this season, think about that. Think about the energy that has already been birthed into that soil, and then what energy is now birthed into your soul as you go ahead and plant seeds for a new harvest. And so when you think about the springtime or the equinox, it is also celebrated in many cultures like ours as a time of rebirth. So although you may have had a lot of things that you wrote down and said you were going to do in the new year, you may not have gotten to them, or by this time in the year already, you've already said, oh, I don't know about this resolution, it ain't working out. Well, think of it as a time to renew that commitment to who you are overall, and give yourself a rebirth. Now, part of that rebirthing ought to be examining what you've been doing and why you do it. Is this part of your cultural tradition? Is this part of your family tradition and heritage? From 1670 onward, we can start to look at our history and heritage in the Gullah Geechee Nation and start to benchmark various times because of documentation that various crops became known as the cash crops, that they became the leading economic industries. So those seeds of Carolina gold rice that were planted by the black gold souls, the Gullah Geechee gold souls, are those that we still have an abundant harvest with visitors that come in many times to study our story. But what happens is they go into archives, but they don't talk to the people. And they definitely go into restaurants and they eat as much as they can. But many times people are confused as to why is rice on everything? Why can rice be breakfast, lunch, or dinner? How can it be a dessert? How can you make pudding out of rice? All of these things. But these are traditional things within West Africa, many other parts of the world, of course, many other continents, but especially we brought it over from Alkebulan to here. And so this harvest still continues in our community of making sure that you want an abundance to be in your household, and that abundance includes having enough food in the pantry, in the Frigidaire, something we say, and in the jar and things like that. And one thing that you generally are going to find in a Gullah Geechee household is some rice. No longer Carolina gold. We got it in the box, in the bag, in the canister. We have it wherever. And whatever we need to create from it, we've learned to develop various things for the menu, for the long haul. But that's part of what a lot of those who study anthropology and sociology and history have utilized to relink our people with many of our African ancestors and our African kinspeople because of the dynamics of what goes into our foodways, both planting and harvesting, and then of course the preparation and the specialty dishes that we have along the way. So in this special broadcast, I wanted it to just be a time where we could sit back, relax, take a little walk together through the field, so you see it ahead of time, and then later on in the year we're going to bring you back so you see what actually grows, you see. And so right now we're focused on the soil of Sea Island sands and the souls of Sea Island sands. What else are we going to crack we teeth about there in the Gullah Geechee Nation, we land and things like that. So Hunter children, Hunter know how we do right here from this year program. We don't give the Hunter children for true, because this year the work going on.
Stay in the field, oh, stay in the field, stay in the field.
Many of our family members that come here to visit us from West Africa immediately connect around the various rice dishes that Gullah Geechees eat every day, that are a regular part of our meal. And the reason that is that the entire coastline that was once referred to as the Windward Coast of West Africa is also referred to as the Rice Coast of West Africa. Those connections have brought about a myriad of reconnections that many people are celebrating now, which is very, very positive. And so we are happy that the family knows to celebrate those traditions. But we don't like to just have a plate of rice and things like that for Nampun. You know what we really like for trop on there too? Some good old seafood. So plenty of times you heard me talk about the Gullah Geechee Fishing Association. And so we want you to just see a few images of what happens when you get we together around a pot and things like that. And especially if somebody been done going out in the creek. All right, chiller. Oh, you already got some in there?
I like to see if the grease was hot for today.
Nah, it's getting there.
Yeah, the grease ain't hot yet.
The grease ain't hot because it's not gonna win.
Yeah.
Wide open.
Yeah. Had to block it.
I got that heat turned up though. He coming up in a minute.
Yeah, once he get hot, that's it.
Right.
He make it pretty. Y'all got the
It's
pan
supposed to
right here.
taste good.
That ain't gonna help us none, is it?
I want this dumb right thing to hurry up. Well, he won't hurry up. I'm like, give me what the coming.
Right.
But now he gonna act super.
Now see the kind that he's making now, this is for fish. It's
Yeah.
mostly for mullet. Because
Yeah,
if you look close at that picture, you see the holes are smaller.
Yeah, smaller one, get the smaller
Those are
hole.
the shrimp.
Make a smaller hole, get the shrimp in the smaller hole. This is your half of the size of what's saying half and then be a smaller hole for the shrimp. Should be a bigger hole for the fish.
What kind of fish?
Any kind of fall on.
I'm gonna catch it.
Any kind of fall on, but